you talk about, the excitement of having the Cliffords coming to Limerick next week. First and foremost, this week, it's Na Piarsaigh versus Ballygunner. And, to me, this is a game that's worthy of being an All-Ireland final. Now, it'll never happen because they'll always have to meet in Munster. But I can't remember the last time I was excited for a club game as I was for this. There's an awful lot of narratives coming into this match. Obviously, Ballygunner are defending All-Ireland champions. The last time they played, they beat Na Piarsaigh, was Na Piarsaig's first ever loss in Munster. Na Piarsaigh had beaten them in 2 Munster finals at that stage. If you name out the players on it, obviously Na Piarsaigh have a share of All-Ireland winners, but Water bring a lot of Ballygunner bring an awful lot of Waterford experience to it. It has all the makings of one of the games of the year.
Oh, there doesn't a doubt about it, Jack. It'll certainly be right up there with the club game of the year, and I have little doubt, Jack, but that is how it will transpire as being one of the great club games of the year, and certainly it's very, very hard to argue with the merit of both sides being there. Like Na Piarsaigh won a very, very good Limerick championship, and I have a sense, at the manner in which they won the county final, Jack, that they have won the Munster won the Limerick championship slightly within themselves. I think that there may be another notch or two there, which augurs well. Of course, like without the cases last year, it was going to be a challenging year for Na Piarsaigh, but they have really, really grouped this year. And if we were in any doubt at all, Jack, about the value of the Casey brothers to Na Piarsaigh, we're left in no doubt with their performances in this year's Munster Championship and or Limerick Championship. Now they're facing the Munster and All-Ireland champions. Now, whilst Na Piarsaigh have been very, very busy through the months of September and October in regaining the Munster Championship, Ballygunner have been essentially idle, Jack, because the Waterford final was played the first week in September, and the only game of note that they've had since, the only competitive game that they've had since, is a Munster semi-final with quarter-final with Kilruane McDonough's. So I think to a degree that hands a certain amount of advantage to Na Piarsaigh, in that they have been active week and all the time now. It's up to Waterford to run their own business, if that's how they choose to run the Munster Championship or their club championship. The best of luck to them. They'll probably argue that the system is working fantastic. All county champions are Munster and All Ireland champions, but that might change on Sunday evening. And
I can see by the way you're talking, you're definitely hinting towards one direction. But the only thing on that is, Ballygunner kind of put Kilruane McDonough's to the sword. I think was it 4-19 to 14 points. And Kilruane had been playing throughout, and Ballygunner didn't seem to miss a trick. And similarly, you mentioned the Piarsaigh footballers were out for so long, and they came back and didn't seem to miss a beat either. So, Ballygunner have played more recent than the Piarsaigh. Their win came a week after Na Piarsaigh beat Kilmallock. But the only thing is, you mentioned Na Piarsaigh kind of being in second or third gear. The win against Kilmallock was their best performance. They didn't have to get to the heights they will need to beat Ballygunner, but they are motoring along nicely and building nicely.
They are getting there, and there is definitely another notch in Na Piarsaigh. I have no doubt about it, and particularly if you look at them in the second half when they had the game put to bed, Jack. There's no question about it, but they laid off a bit. Had the game been tight, would Kilmallock have got the 2 late goals? No, they wouldn't, Jack.
No, probably not.
So, I am now. If you look at if you bring it down to individuals and the personnel that are involved,
there's a lot of them.
You go 1 to 15 on the Na Piarsaigh team. They're laden with medals, Jack. and laden with All Ireland medals. Like, you Will O'Donoghue, an inspirational captain. You have the Caseys, you have the Boylans, Adrian Breen, Kevin Downs. The names just roll off. Ronan Lynch, Cathal King, who captained Na Piarsaigh to an All Ireland win. All these soccer players, top class players. Dahi Dempsey, a goal king, absolutely fantastic player. All Ireland medals to show for it as well.
Real firepower there, and a lot of those players you mentioned are
forward. Phenomenal, and I saw them in the league, Jack, and I saw their preparation for the league. When I say the preparation, I saw the warm up, and I was just taking note of it, and I said to myself, "This is the warm up of a team that, has loftier ambitions than winning a Limerick Senior Hurling League." and on the night in which they blew it their way in the final, and at most there was only 7 players that I could count that would possibly be on their championship team, and that's how it transpired. But they have such firepower, and you guys, you've the lesser known lights in, like, you've Emmett McAvoy coming through as an exceptionally good player, Jack. Mike Foley is having a fantastic season. William Henn, like Keith Dempsey. If you talk of the lesser known lights, Evan Condon in goal, where is the weakness? I ask myself.
Hasn't been found as of yet. But
it's like looking for a needle in a haystack, a weakness in the Na Piarsaigh team and squad,
Yeah, because to be fair, like last year, obviously they were beaten by Parswell in the semi-final, but without the Casey brothers, that's fair. Ballygunner were the last team to beat them at full strength. In 2018, they obviously have their number in some regard. And if you go through the Ballygunner team, they have so many names that stick out, the likes of the Mahanys, Pádraig, Philip, Kevin. You have young Patrick Fitzgerald, who's a real star in the rising. Desi Hutchinson is one of the best club players in the country. I think it's fair to say every year. Harry Ruddle, who got the goal last year, has got a number of goals this year as well. So, I mean,
you have Stephen O'Keefe, you have Ian Kenny, you have Peter Hogan, you have Barry Coughlin.
Yeah.
But while Limerick were winning All Ireland finals, these were losing semi-finals and finals.
I know, but they did get over the line in an All Ireland last year. I know they left it late against Ballyhale, but they do have very recent experience. This.
Look, I'm not playing down Ballygunner for 1 minute. They're formidable. Like, you don't win 9 Waterford championships in a row and not be a formidable side. And the level of backup they have is that they've won the intermediate championship in Waterford as well. But the Piarsaigh are only 1 game away from doing that in Limerick. But
2 powerhouses, I think it's fair to say, of Munster hurling, not only of Limerick and Waterford respectively, but of Munster hurling. You mentioned the preparation for Na Piarsaigh, and you just look at them as a side. They're an inter-county team. They've sprinkled with inter-county talent, but I think Ballygunner are similarly talented and on this journey that, Na Piarsaigh won 4 Munsters in 7 years. Ballygunner are aiming to do something similar to that. They won in 18, they won in 2021. They won in All Ireland as well. Very similar trajectory to where Na Piarsaigh were. It's a day you wouldn't want to be at back, Matt, when you look at the firepower on either side.
Absolutely, like said, it's the meeting of the Munster club titans. This is, and they have the record to show for it. And no, I'm not detracting for 1 minute from Ballygunner, but I think they're going to face much more formidable Limerick champions than they did with Kilmallock last year, who hit an off day now, in fairness, in the Munster final.
It was an off day last year. That's fair to say. They just didn't get going. And I think Ballygunner as well were on a mission. They were on a mission, less than 12 months ago. It was in January. But the way you're talking, I will ask you for a prediction on this game. You do seem to be edging towards Na Piarsaigh.
Yeah, I'm edging towards Na Piarsaigh. I'm expecting Na Piarsaigh to win, Jack. And I won't hide it nor apologise for it. From what I have seen from what I've seen this year, I've been hugely impressed with Na Piarsaigh. And if you analyze their side, Jack, and go through it, it will take an exceptional club team to beat them. And now I know Ballygunner on that, and there's going to be very, very little in it on the day now. There's going to be very, very little on it on the day, but I think the Piarsaigh have the wherewithal to just get over the line. Now, it's the 5th time, Jack, 2011, that they have met in the club championship. And Ballygunner, Na Piarsaigh have won the first 3. They won a quarter-final in Walsh Park in 2011, and they've won 2 subsequent Munster finals. Like the only fly in the ointment as far as Na Piarsaigh is concerned was the 2018 Munster final. Which
I think they were. I was at that game. They were definitely below par that day. Kevin Downs got a goal straight away, and sometimes getting a goal can kind of seem to shake a team, and it seemed to that Na Piarsaigh on that day. This is actually the first time Na Piarsaigh will have home advantage in the 5th meeting. Now, to be fair, 3 of those were in Semple Stadium, so they're all neutral. But if you were to put a point difference on it, Matt, because I'll keep a track of this,
I'd say Na Piarsaigh by about 3.
By 3. I'm going to say Na Piarsaigh by 2. I think they'll be ahead, and then they'll get a late one to consolidate the position. But I'm really, really looking forward.
Look, it is a great, absolutely. And Jack, whoever will win it, they're going to provide some obstacle to St. Finbarr's and Ballye's ambitions of winning a Munster championship.
Yeah, I'll ask you about that game as well, Matt, because obviously it will be the winner of Ballyea and St. Finbarr's that will play either Ballygunner or Na Piarsaigh in the final. A game like Na Piarsaigh Ballygunner, you just automatically think it's a final, but it is a semi-final, and there'll be another obstacle for whoever comes through that game. The meeting of the Clare and the Cork champions, the Adrian O'Brien derby, if you wish. 2 good teams as well, Matt, from what I've seen so far this year. Ballyea obviously have huge pedigree in Munster. They won in, was it 16, got to an All-Ireland final, and St. Finbarr's obviously had a brilliant Cork campaign. Neither of them will be pushovers.
Yeah, well, the Bars only came out in Cork for the first time since 1993, Jack, and of course, when it comes to club championships, the Bars hold a unique record of they alone are the only club that have won the the All-Ireland senior clubs hurling and football championships. They've won a couple of football championships, but it's a long time since 1993 for the Bars to be away from the limelight and from the Munster campaign. But they will be very, very formidable, Jack, and they have a team that has been painstakingly built over the last couple of years, and a number of good young players that some of them who have been flirting with being on the Cork senior panel, and they had a number of players, the likes of Ethan Toomey and those who won All-Ireland under 20s with Cork, and you'd have stallers like David Cahalane and of course Jack Cahalane and Bill Hennessy. They have they will be formidable, but I don't think they will relish too much having to travel to Ennis to play Ballyea, who are one of the great, Ballyea are going through a great spell in Clare, of course, and they have among their ranks a certain Mr. Kelly, which can a potential match winner on his own. Look, this is a mouth-watering semi-final as well, and it might be tended to be overshadowed by the fact of the meeting of Ballygunner and Na Piarsaigh, but this in its own right, Jack, it has the makings of a cracker, and I think the Mars will probably do well to come out of it.
Yeah, I think they will win, to be honest.
I think they possibly they may be good enough to win, but
call it.
They'll have it all done when they let Ballyea beat. Jack, just about shaded for the Bars.
For the Bars, yeah, I'm thinking the Bars as well myself. Obviously Ballyea have all the pedigree, but I just think sometimes when a team has been away for so long that they're just desperate to get to get that Munster win. So both going to Bars, both going to Piarsaigh. Won't be surprised to see a Ballygunner or Ballyer final in any way, shape, or form.
No. Look, that's the intrigue of it, Jack, and that is the beauty of the four that have come through. Picking a combination, like there are a number of combinations of what the likely final might be. It could be.
I wouldn't back what we have there.